Well, hi everybody, and welcome back to the crazy soap channel that is StarrSoap's channel. How are you today? I'm doing good. I'm going to make citrus soap bars today. That's right, so please come along with me and let me show you how to make citrus soap bars by StarrSoaps. Squee! So, my name is MissCrystalStarr, and if you don't already know me, I am the Queen Soaper here at StarrSoaps in the Taranaki, in the heart of the Taranaki in Stratford, and I'm going to be making a really delicious and recently has become super popular soap bar today. So recently I turned 34, oh my gosh, I know, and on my birthday I decided to take my daughter and myself and we'll go get haircuts at the local hairdresser. And while we were there, we were chatting away to the hairdresser like you do, and she was talking to me about what I do, and I was talking about my soaps, and I just so happened to have some soaps on me that I was taking to the post office, so I pulled them out and showed them to her, and she fell in love with the citrus soap bar and asked if I'd make some more because I only had 2 in stock because she wanted 4 of them. That's right. 4. So I decided to make up another batch of 9, and I'm using a different citrus fragrance this time. I'm actually using a blend, which I often do for citrus, but the top note and the most important fragrance, guys, in this one is a fragrance that's called Kumquat. That's right, Kumquat. And I never would have ever thought to use this fragrance if it wasn't for the wonderful ladies on Kiwi Soap Makers group, and they were talking about different fragrances that you must try from a New Zealand supplier called Zen Designs, which you might have heard me talk about before. And Zen Designs have got some really good fragrance oils, so I have been buying some different fragrance oils from them, and I've got Kumquat, and it's amazing. I love it so much. I've used it in bath bombs. I've used it in a spray perfume that has no alcohol, like an alcohol-free spritzer that I made, and it was so delicious. And I'm using it in the soap, and I love it. So I'm definitely going to be buying more. But I'm also using a fragrance oil called Saigon, which smells like lemongrass. Very strong, of real lemongrass essential oil, even though it's a fragrance oil. And I'm also using a tiny splash of Love Spell. That's what's going in right now. This is the Love Spell. Now, I was gifted this bottle of fragrance oil by the beautiful Melissa Stanford of Lucky 7 Soap Company. So shout outs to Melissa for sending me this beautiful bottle of Love Spell. We in New Zealand have got a fragrance oil called Love Spell, but it smells different. And in fact, I made a candle scented in that different Love Spell, which I sent to Katie, Katie of Royalty Soaps, the Duchess of Suds, and she really liked it. But it is not fruity. It is quite floral and musky. So this one is the American, as I like to call it, Love Spell, that is super fruity. And I've just plopped in a bunch of really delicious kumquat fragrance. And I'm telling you guys, the soap smells like heaven. So I actually made a batch of these citrus salt bars not that long ago, and I'll leave a link below to that video so you guys can go and check it out. And I learned a lot from making that one. I actually put the salt into the mold, some of it, and then some of it I mixed through the soap, and then when I went to unmold the final soaps, there was like too much loose salt in the bottom. So I'm doing it quite differently this time, and I urge you to pay attention to the way that I add my salt, because it is kind of like a baking technique. I sort of attempt to fold the salt in. That way the heavy salt won't just sink to the bottom, and when I go to pour my bars, I'm not just going to end up with like a few soaps that only have a little bit of salt and then a few that have got heaps of salt. We want every single bar to have a good balanced ratio of soap and salt, so that when you go to wash with it, you're not just washing with chunks of salt, and yeah, you're getting this beautiful soap. Now, it's really interesting, the whole concept of adding salt into soap, because salt does tend to cut bubbles. And there's a really brilliant video from Teach of Soaping 101. So if you want to check out her salt bars, you should check them out as well. She shows you how soapy water is bubbly, and then if you add salt into it, it cuts the bubbles. So you have to up things like coconut oil in this recipe. You have to make a custom soap recipe that will really bubble up and counteract what the salt's doing. But the plus side of all of that is you have a really, really hard bar of soap, and it lasts for a really long time. So that's why I've reintroduced the stick blender here. I'm trying to make my soap batter thicker. I want it to be thick enough that the salt can stay somewhat suspended within the soap as I pour it.
On my body and told me you were ready for the big one, for the big jump. I'd be your last love, everlasting, you and me. Oh, that was what you told me. I've given you up, I'm forgiving it all. You set me free. So send my love to your new lover. Treat her better. We gotta let go all of her ghosts. We both know we ain't kids no more. Send my love to your new lover. Treat her better. We gotta let go all of her ghosts. We both know we ain't kids no more. No, we ain't kids no more. I was too strong, you were trembling, you couldn't handle the hot heat rising. Ooh, baby, I'm so rising. I was running, you were walking, couldn't keep up, you were falling down.
So you can see here that I have very carefully sprinkled the salt over the top, and it is a combination of New Zealand sea salt in coarse form and pink Himalayan salt, and they look beautiful. I think it's just glorious. So I have carefully sprinkled them along the top of the soap, and then I very gently fold before I pour into the bar mold. That way it's not going to be sinking on the bottom, and with any luck we're going to actually get a really nice even blend for every single bar. So the amount of soap that I've made here is only going to make 9 bars. I know that from previous experience, and I've done calculations for my mold. And again, there are a lot of really interesting and helpful videos out there if you're learning and you want to know how to calculate the right amount of soap for your mold. Going right back to my early days, I never used to do it, and I would just always have other molds on hand. So now it's quite a professional feeling that I know exactly how many soap bars I'm getting. It's quite, good. And I really love how the citrus soap came out in the end. The scent is really beautiful and bright. It's a really invigorating soap bar, and when the lovely hairdresser received her bars, she sent me a message that night just raving about it. She was like, this is the best soap ever. So that was a really, really cool feeling, and another little hint that I should continue to make more salt bars as time goes on. I'm finding that anything that has a little bit of a unique additive in the soap is something that is going to sell really well, and it really does pique people's interest, whether that might be my Rotorua thermal mud, or the real pumpkin puree and pumpkin chai. Just a little bit of a luxury ingredient, something to make your soap stand out from any other soap that this person might have ever seen or used before. Because for me, that was how I caught the soapy bug. I was washing with a Lush soap bar that had fruit peel in it, and I could not stop my mind from wanting to figure out how the heck they managed to put fruit peel into soap. And here we are today, all those years later, and I know more about soap than I ever thought I ever would. So there you go. Well, I hope that you guys have really enjoyed watching me make this soap, because I have really enjoyed making it. I am also going to be showing you guys some photos at the end of my beautiful citrus soap bars all wrapped up, but unfortunately I did not film the unmolding of these soap bars. Sorry about that, but honestly you're not missing much. It's just popping a few soaps out. I'm sure that you've seen square soaps being unmolded before. So what I will go ahead and tell you right now is that I'm going to highlight the wonderful Miss Patty Simmons and her soap. So you've got that to look forward to at the end of this clip. And if you want your photo to be highlighted and you're like, oh my gosh, that's super cool, please come and join our group, StarrSoapy Family, over on Facebook. Become a member and feel the soapy love. And guys, don't forget to hit subscribe to this channel, ring the bell so you get notified whenever I upload a new and cool video just like this one. Slam that like button, and if we can get to 100 likes on this video, I'm gonna do a giveaway. I think we can manage it, and I know you want a giveaway, so slam that like button right now.
There's only one way down. I'm giving you up. I've forgiven it all. You set me free. So send my love to your new lover. Treat her better. We gotta let go. All of her goals. We both know we ain't kids no more. Send my love to your new lover. Treat her better. We've gotta let go. All of our goals. Both know we ain't kids no more. If you're ready, if you're ready, if you're ready, I'll be ready. Gotta let go. All of our goals. We both know we ain't kids no more. If you're ready.
Okay, well thank you so much for watching this video, and I want to give a huge shout out to the beautiful Miss Patty Simmons and her gorgeous orange soap that she's made and posted in our group. Come along and share your photos as well and feel the soapy love, guys. I love you so much. Stay subscribed and stay tuned for groovy new soap videos coming your way.